I was recently reading a comment made by a wise woman who wrote the following. Basically, even when we think we're making very well thought out, conscious life or death decisions, we are actually relying on information that is stored in our subconscious, and so our decisions can't be better than that. The model of the mind is a process that happens in a split second, but broken down looks something like this. The conscious mind perceives through seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, tasting, and through association with a stored picture in the subconscious and a process of evaluation, a decision is made. That decision can never be in conflict with the person's own truth or the stored picture. On the most basic level, it looks like this. Why do we as adults not stick our hand in the fire or put our hand on a hot plate on the stove? Well, almost every child has done it at least once, and that experience is burned into our subconscious. A picture is created. And when we feel the heat as an adult, we look at that picture and we make a correct decision not to do it again. Just as much as these subconscious pictures can be there to protect us, they can also be harmful to us. The child that has been told growing up that he's no good, he's not going to amount to anything, cannot do anything that is in conflict with that picture. And so I come to Pierre. On a conscious level, that's Pierre's perception, he's succeeding at his studies. And through a process of association with his subconscious picture of himself, his perception is at odds with a stored picture of himself as a failure. What transpires creates cognitive dissonance. Now, it's a technical term that really means we can't hold two opposing thoughts at the same time without doing something about it. Now, the three paths that we can actually choose. We can change our cognition or our perception. We can change our behavior, or we can change our attitude. Now, simply putting, best way of explaining that is by using an example of a smoker. Smoker knows that it's bad for him to smoke because there's so much about it that is bad, but says to himself things like, hey, I've been smoking all my life and I'm okay, or my uncle smoked until he died at 95. So this kind of makes it okay for him. He changes his perception about smoking, rationalizes the dissonance so that it becomes okay. Where this leads for Pierre then is to make a decision that does not create dissonance. Thus, if he goes overseas with his friend, he has failed at his studies, and the decision matches the subconscious picture of himself as a failure. All then is good in Pierre's self-perception. So, as a mentor, I need to propose actions. And since Pierre is focused on failure, it is my role as his mentor to focus on his successes and to show him that there are actions that can be taken and outcomes other than his proposed one. In reality, I need to show him how the pattern of his choices has created a self-fulfilling habit that will have him making the same decisions over and over again. How his decision to pursue the next golden opportunity will in all likelihood be just another place for him to repeat the same decisions that he is programmed to make. Inasmuch as this may be a tough truth for him to hear and face, my intervention is critical for him to start making good decisions that change the picture of himself that he carries in his subconscious. I need to help him find his way in one of three ways. We talked about changing of perception. He needs to change his perception of himself from that of a failure to one of success by building on his small successes, by helping him to change his attitude from one of resignation of, well, that's what life has dealt me, to one of my future is in my control, by helping him develop a new behavior, that of grit. Grit in psychological terms is a positive, non-cognitive trait based on an individual's perseverance and effort, combined with a passion for a particular long-term goal or end state. A really powerful motivation to achieve an objective. If I can help him see that there are powerful, positive choices that he can make to break the shackles of his habit, all he has to do is choose one and make it his own. Making that decision, creating a new picture, removes his cognitive dissonance from I am a success and I'm a failure, which is the dissonance, to one of no dissonance, a new dissonance of I am a success. If I just give up on him, he will continue along the same path, And I'm not prepared to do that, because that's what grit and tough love combined demand of me.